cases off this one time, but this is just for ME/CFS. This is really kind of scary, but I'm just looking at the end of glycolysis because those guys in, I think, Norway, and then the people at Stanford said in ME/CFS they think pyruvate dehydrogenase and pyruvate kinase are inhibited, and then it feeds into the TCA, but it doesn't have the fuel it needs, and there's not enough ATP because of it. So I found this thing at my school, and I'm just trying to find alternative routes to kind of bypass the end of glycolysis, and especially pyruvate. And this is way too complicated, but it looks like NADH actually bypasses it, and that makes sense because it treats it pretty well. But it's helpful, but yeah, NADH can be helpful, I guess, in the supplement. Okay, bye.
Oh hey guys, I left a few things out in that video, so this is just kind of a correction. First of all, I by no means said that's like a real, or meant that's like a cure or any kind of real treatment or even real help. What I was basically trying to say is over the last 4 to 5 years, I've probably tried about 65 supplements, some pretty high-end ones where I spent hundreds of dollars, and it was all bullshit. So bad. It didn't do anything. But the reason I'm making this video is NADH from that I was taking, stabilized NADH, and I think the company is NADA, ENADA. I think the product is called Mojo, 20 milligrams. That is the only thing in years that had any effect, and it's not great, it's not good. I'd say it's barely modest. And I'm very happy to actually get something that can help. It does help. It's just not very much, but yeah, and I guess the thought behind it is in a very simplified version. So there's like 3 steps in metabolism or cellular respiration. To make it really simple, the first one is glycolysis, which happens in the cytosol, which is like the cell fluid, and then it makes it essentially at the end of it we have something called pyruvate. Pyruvate gets shuttled into the mitochondria. You guys know what that is, and that is the fuel. It goes in there and then performs, like the TCA or citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle. I just say Krebs because I like the guy, Hans Krebs, because he's cool, but having a nerd moment. Okay, so basically it goes through the cycle, the big circle thing, and then it goes to the electron transport chain, which has to do with, I'm not going to go there, but so the whole idea is, so we have glycolysis, TCA. Well, glycolysis is cut off at the end because pyruvate dehydrogenase and pyruvate kinase in many cases are inhibited. So there are other pathways that go in, they're just not as substantial. There's other molecules getting shuttled into the mitochondria for fuel. They're just not the main sources. Like I think fatty acids, omega-3s, amino acids, those get shuttled in, so supplementing with those can be effective in some cases, to make up for this huge lack of pyruvate. But I was looking at that really massive, scary chart because it had every single alternative thing going into it, and I could just look at it. And I did see NADH getting shuttled in there, and it is like an alternative fuel source because our main source, pyruvate, is cut off, right? So it's just like an alternative route to help get the stuff going, the hypometabolism. And I tried really high-end supplements made just for mitochondria, like NT Factor. I spent hundreds of dollars on it, and I think it was so stupid in some respects because people get this really, I mean, it's great for some cases, but at least in my case, it's absolute nonsense that I have mitochondria damage. I mean, in some cases, if they say, oh, you have a gene that makes it like that, it's like you get fucking Huntington's disease when that happens. It's not even close. A lot of us, at least in myalgic encephalomyelitis, mitochondria is fine. It's been checked many times and documented. I can cite Ron Davis for saying that. The whole problem is the fuel is not getting shuttled in correctly. you have the powerhouse, but the powerhouse isn't getting fuel to make energy for us. And energy is ATP, of course. So if you take anything away from it, um, maybe try NADH for what it's worth. Don't expect anything great, but it has been proven also in a lot of studies to be helpful. It's just not very helpful, but it's something, so it's better than nothing. It's just expensive too, but that's it. Thanks, guys. Bye.